what does it take to lead 54 people, 2,900 cows, and drive excellence in milk quality? Well, in part 2 of our conversation with Danielle Ware-Dreier at Shiloh Dairy in Brillion, Wisconsin, we go deeper into the leadership philosophies, Parlor protocols, and personal drive that fuel this high-performing team. If you missed part 1, make sure to check out episode 268 to hear Danielle's journey to becoming a manager. That and more right here today on the Uplevel Dairy Podcast. This episode is sponsored by Uplevel Dairy Podcast founding partner Adisseo, a global leader in nutritional solutions and premier provider of rumen-protected methionine for dairy producers who want to optimize milk production, capture more value from components, and maintain the health of their high-performing herds. So I want to go back for just a second to you talked about Oscar. That was someone that you kind of struggled in his first his start here, and now is doing phenomenal. And is just really thriving in the calf area.
Yep.
And that took a couple of years. What had to happen for him to go from the rough start to the rock star?
He made a couple of mistakes, and instead of reprimanding him, we called him in, and it was more of a, what can we do to fix this? What can we do to make you see things different? And that's when he kind of started opening up on what he grew up with, and this is what, if that's all you knew, if that's all you grew up with, like one of his things is, in his country, you're not nice to animals. They're animals, right? Dogs don't go in the houses. Cows, they'll use, the sticks and that stuff on them. And that's not a big deal there. That's what they've seen. And I'm like, but that's a huge deal here. We don't treat them. God gave us these animals to care for, gave us the responsibility. So just getting the mindset of, well, that's what he's seen in life, that for the first 20 years of his life, you can't expect him to just flip in a second, right? For me, I'm hoping if we show people enough of respect and we show them how, do unto others as you want done to you. If we treat them with respect, if he sees Travis, I, and Gordon treating these cows with respect and expecting a lot out of, if a sick cow's sick, like I told the guys the other day, you're the ambulance, you're the EMTs coming, right? If you get in a car accident, you call 911, the EMTs come and help you. These cows don't have a way to call 911. So we're the EMTs. We're the ambulance coming. So if there's a down cow, we want to treat that cow like you would be treated if you were in a car accident, right? Because they can't get any help. We're their help. So I hope that our team members see that how we treat everybody and just if that's what they're in every day, that they become, okay, this is my new way of thinking. And I think for Melvin, that's just where it's been amazing to watch him grow up the last 3 years. I hope they realize all what we try to do for them and, show them how much we care.
And you do that in part with expectations.
Yes.
Right? Expectations and clarity is caring.
Yep.
Yeah. But also, as you mentioned before, you have intentionally created a time and a space for addressing issues, whether that's personally or professionally. And you have some other core philosophies around here too. In fact, you were just sharing one with me earlier. It was bien then rapido. Tell me about that one.
So my famous saying is, it's bien and rapido. So you do it good, then you do it fast. So like when we fall behind in the parlor, which we do, they try and hustle, they try and do fast, and then you're to skip steps. And my thing is, no. We still do it the same exact way, even if we're 45 minutes behind, because if we do it good, we're going to catch up. It's going to be fast. But if we do it fast, the cows aren't used to that. The cows aren't going to milk out. They're not going to want to come in the parlor. That's when the whistling is going to get louder. And so we don't allow radios. We don't allow the phones, the earbuds, anything in the parlor. So the noise volume is very important to us. But with everything, I'm like, let's do it good, then go fast. Worry about doing it good, then speed. And we're milking 2,900 cows through double 36. So it's not like we're going slow, right? But that's been since day one for me. Let's worry about bien, then rapido. And I would hope you could walk on this farm to any 54 employees and ask them, and they would say, that's what you focused on, because I say that probably hundreds of times a week, that is what we're worried about. We're going to do good, then we'll worry about fast.
So repetition.
Because if we skip steps, that's only going to make us go slower. The cows are going to milk out slower. We're going to have to take more units off. We're going to get more mastitis. And we've tried very hard for years to explain that philosophy to everybody.
Any other core philosophies that you've really reiterated to the folks around here?
I would say do unto others as you want done to you. If it's 20 minutes before their shift and they're texting me and saying that they're sick, I said, well, how would you feel if the table's returned? You know the rules, or, hey, I got a commitment. Can I have Friday off and it's Thursday? How would you feel if your team members would do that to you and you were supposed to have that day off or, you had only planned. So I'm like, do unto others as you want done to you is probably my other famous saying for the team. I think just holding that line too, because if you don't hold that line, okay, what's the next excuse going to be?
Yeah. So that's been really core to your development, your own development as a manager, is being true to those words. And also you're living out the same core values that you're preaching and teaching.
I try
around here too.
I try really hard. I'm not perfect and I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, but I try really hard. And I think that comes with age too, right? I'm a lot different than I was even 20 years ago or even 10 years ago. The older you get, hopefully the smarter you get, I think they tell us. But you realize the little things, and it's always been for me, the little things are what matter in life. I've never been a big, fancy person. It's always the little things for me.
And it matters around here too, doesn't it?
I'm hoping, yeah.
So if you were to really look at the development over the last 3 years in particular, as you have stepped out of the office and into the trenches, and at that same time expanded, added 500 more cows, grown the team from 30 to 50?
35 to 54, yeah.
35 to 54. That is a lot to take on in 3 years.
Yep.
Do you ever have days when you're like, I think I want to go back to just ordering the boots?
Yep. Yep, I do. And I go to Gordon and Travis and say, I'm like, I'm just going to head back to the office now. I do. It's been hard. I was excited for it and I still am. But yeah, there's a lot of days where I wouldn't mind going back in the office and, working the 8-hour day instead of the 15-hour days. No after-hour calls, no weekend calls. I don't think people realize the amount of stress. And as Gordon and Travis say, I put a lot of that on myself. I expect a lot from myself. I'm not a patient person. I want perfection and I want it now. Milk quality has always been a huge passion of mine. And seeing how high the somatic cell was and seeing, we were down to 59,000 3 months ago. And my goal is to get to 50,000 and stay there. So as I tell the team, it's fun and hard to get there, but then to stay there is even harder.
Yeah.
Right. I have in my house, I have the valley will show you views the mountains never could. And yeah, that's right. I mean, the days where you have down cows and a lot of mastitis cows, you really can't focus on them because if you stay there, but they also teach you a lot. But I love I truly love the Parlor. I love the team we've built. And the cows. I mean, I always say, I kind of joke, but if I could make my bed in the Parlor, I'd probably sleep in there. And that's been right for, on another farm too. And here it's been a passion of mine my entire life. So it was not hard to transition back. It just, I guess I wasn't ready for all the stress and how much time it was going to take up, how much actual time it was going to take and effort. But there's a lot more good days than bad days. And right, I feel fortunate that that I can work for people that I call family. I mean, I've known them for 22 years. We go to the same church, that type of stuff. But then just growing the team, you see them outside and it's not just they'll wave to you, they'll give you a hug. I'll see them, at Quick Trip or whatever. That's what matters to me, I guess.
Yeah, it's the people. And you shared a couple of those success stories of your team members, the ones where it's not just about how they show up here. You see that, but you also see the people that they've become.
Build the people first is my philosophy.
And the rest follows. And on that note, let's just talk for a minute about one of the big victories that you shared, and that was getting that somatic cell count down to where it is today, to where your new goal is 50, staying there. And in between, there is a bedding change from sand to biosolids as well.
Recycled sand to biosolids to digested fibers.
Yeah. Okay. So walk me through that, because milk quality, in addition to people and protocols, milk quality is another passion of yours.
Yes.
What did it take? What had to be done, and what continues to be done to have that level of milk quality excellence here?
Protocols, training.
Okay. So what had to change in the protocols to get there?
So we had the Future Cow brush here for probably 10, 12 years, I would say, for sure 10. We could never get it that we could take the cloth towel out. We tried a couple times, even previous to when I was in the parlor. That was one of the first things I took out. I think everybody thought I was crazy. A lot of people thought I was crazy. And a lot of people are very successful with the Future Cow. It wasn't perfect for our situation. So we went back to the old traditional foaming, getting the routine right. We went from a 12 cow prep to a 9 cow prep. We weren't getting cows through the parlor at all on time. So we don't have a hospital parlor. So we dry cows. We wash 3 times a day, and we milk our tritium pen in there 3 times a day. So everything's done in that double 36. And you only have 24 hours to do it. So, and then just we had 3 milkers. Now we have a supervisor on every shift. So yes, I watch the parlor, I watch camera, but I can't physically be in the parlor 24 hours a day. And we realized that. So we put their parlor supervisors, one on every shift.
It's the ability for you to have eyes that represent what you would see in the parlor when you can't be there. So and that is translating into protocols. Was there anything that you had change in the barn with, like, stall maintenance? And that
Gordon and Travis dedicated a lot of time and money and effort to we redid the manure systems. We changed where our drop lanes were, so now they're in the middle of the barn. Just switching equipment, I guess. We changed some equipment out. So we still have tractors in that, but we just put bigger tires on the back so that we scrape with tires now instead of the blades.
Okay.
So we switched with that, and then just going to the digested fiber. Travis does a phenomenal job on keeping the manure barn going, and we have to, you can't have too much coming out. You can't have too little, and we got to have enough for the heifers. We got to have enough for the cows. We do add hydrated lime to 3 of the pens. The mature cows get that twice a week. Just some things, I guess, we added and took out, and then just the investment they made in the barn. To clean pens faster and better, because we got to get cows up to the parlor faster. They did invest in a lot more fans. We have sprinklers in all the pens, which we've always had, but we watch that really close. So when we have a team meeting, my first question is, who's responsible for somatic cell at Shiloh Dairy? And the answer from every single person should be everybody. And it is. It's all the way down to the cleaning lady, right? So if she's not cleaning the kitchen right, and there's no way for them to have forks and spoons to eat, well, that person's going to be hungry and not right now want to have to go in the parlor without eating. And so I'm just like, everybody, the calf team, if the calves don't, if the calves aren't treated well and raised well, they're not going to mature into, good cows. It's everybody on Shiloh Dairy is responsible. So that's why we have somatic cell posted in 4 different areas on the farm. So you should be able to walk up to any one of our employees and they should know what our somatic cell is every single day of the week, because it's posted 6 days a week.
But that also helps everyone get on board with this bigger view that one department impacts the other, and vice versa. And that's all part of the bigger goal. And how important is repetition of the important things, the most important things? How important is that repetition, do you believe, to overall hitting those goals as an entire dairy, not just one department?
I think it's probably the most important thing, right? We think, we got to train that again, or Gordon will be like, you're having another training on that, or we're training this again. But I think, as Gordon said in a previous interview, you think milking cows would be easy, right? But it's not. It's repeating, and it's reminding every single person, this is what we do every single day, or just a matter of, okay, this is how we milk cows. This is what we do. Well, we're behind. It doesn't matter. This is how we milk the cows. you talk to people that work in factories and they say the same thing. So it's nothing that we're doing different than anybody else. We have learned that with adding supervisors in the parlor, just the difference. And we thought we could run the parlor with just a parlor manager. But one person cannot be in charge of a parlor that's running 24 hours a day. And it's not a person that's standing around. I mean, that parlor supervisor works hard and has a lot of responsibility. And like you said, I mean, in meetings too, I'm like, okay, he's my eyes and ears and mouth when I'm not in there. But they got to earn that spot. You're not just going to walk into this farm and become a supervisor. That's just not how I run things. And some farms they do, but for me, I've had to work for it. You're going to work for it.
Mm. So some core philosophies that you stick to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So if someone were to come to you, if another manager came to you and said, Danielle, see what you've done around here. I see how things are going, the improvements, the atmosphere, the culture of respect. And they wanted to know what 3 things that they could do to do that at their own place. What would you tell them?
Get to know your team first. Like really get to know your team members first. What are they good at? What are they not good at? What do they like doing? Who are they as people? And then start building them. Start with that and then get protocols. Find your professionals you're going to listen to. And I struggled with this too, right? I mean, I would be on the right track on one thing and I'm like, oh, Gordon, hey, this guy just told me this. And he's like, who are you going to listen to? Pick who you're going to listen to. You can't have 5 different people telling you 5 different things. Just find your core people and listen to them, set protocols. And the other thing is follow through. And that's one thing nobody likes, right? At the end of the day, I don't like it either. I don't like having to discipline people. I don't like having to harp at people. And I'm like, come on, guys, we know this. You've been here how many years? We've been doing the same thing. Nobody likes that part of the job. But when you see that you have to do that less and less and less, then you're succeeding, you're getting better at it. But first, you got to get to know who you're working with.
So people first.
Yep.
Protocol second.
Yep.
And then that like training and reinforcement.
Yep. Yeah. The part nobody wants to do.
But the critical part, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so Danielle, we've covered a lot today. Is there anything else you want to add before we get to our last couple questions?
I think you just got to find, like for me, it was, find your inspiration and so like to me, I lost my dad 13 years ago. I learned a lot from my dad watching him farm and that, but for me, I come to work and I try and make him proud every day. Right. And I have 3 daughters at home that I want to show those girls that they can stand on their own feet. And I mean, I went through some trials in my life that I thought would have broke me, and that almost did. But just having people around you, like I could never thank like Gordon and Kathy and now Travis enough for giving me the opportunity, right? Without them, I'm nothing, and I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have this life without them. If they wouldn't have moved from, it's odd how things happen, little things, right? If they wouldn't have chose to move from Canada, and they were supposed to build like 3 hours from here, and they just happened to stop at a little diner in Brillion, and some guy overheard them and offered them this piece of land. It's just, for me, it's weird how little things in life it's like a puzzle that puts it all together, and God kind of sees your life and says, okay, this is where she needs to be. Somehow I'm going to make her get there, even though she doesn't want to listen to me sometimes, right? And that's just what I look at. Like, I mean, I come to work and I just get so much, like, if you want to say passion or just appreciation for our team, and just they've really have become family. I mean, sadly I spend more time with them than my actual family, right? Just because we're all here so much. It's awesome for me to hear, like, Melvin's like, oh, I talk to my mom twice a week, and I always tell her what you did for us this week, or what you and I accomplished this week, and I'm like, yeah, but you're doing the work. It's not me. It's you're accomplishing this. You have to look at what you did. I just go and take pictures of things they're doing wrong. And I do try, and I'll send them the pictures and bring up the stuff, but forever, you don't want to just focus on the bad. I always try and, okay, but yeah, we're doing this, we got to fix this up, but look at all this other stuff. Like we just had a cow that had fell and hurt her leg, and I assigned Saul to go and clean it every day. And, and he's like, oh, I don't think this cow is going to make it. And I mean, she was in bad shape, but I mean, he spent every day of 2 weeks going out and find that cow in the bedding pack and taking her. And Saturday morning, she calved with a, live big heifer calf. She stood up, we milked her, and she's in her fresh cow pen. I brought him over there and I said, look at this cow. I go, look at this cow. And he's like, he was all smiles. I go, no, this cow is here and alive because of you. It's not anybody else. I'm like, you took the time. Yeah, I told him to do it, but he didn't have to go do it. To me, that's what matters, right? Because if we can build that person, and he's our 1.5 million views on Facebook. He's our hugging calf guy.
The video. The viral video.
So he's our hugging guy, and there's another success story. I mean, there was a guy who wanted to leave and said he couldn't do it. And I mean, he's our herdsman now. He's one of our herdsmen. So he started in the parlor, went to cow moving, went to calving pen and said, okay, enough is enough. I'm not doing this work anymore. I want to go home. And I'm like, you're not going home. We're going to build you up. We moved in the second shift. And yeah, that was about the time of the video. And just now he's one of our herdsmen.
And okay, so if someone hadn't seen that video, what would if they were to go back and watch now, what would they see?
They would see a guy throwing his hands up in the air and giving a calf a huge, ginormous hug and kisses. And then the calf following that guy around in our nursery. And to me, I went on the camera at 10 o'clock, checked before I went to bed. And I'm like, well, what's he doing letting that calf run around? Why? Well, come to find out, he had put her away 3 times. And she jumped through the little tiny feed hole 3 times. And finally said, you want to run? And then she can't go anywhere. It's in the nursery, right? So he threw up his arms and said, you want to run? Then run. You can run around tonight. No one's here. Gave her this huge hug and a bunch of kisses and walked away. And, yeah, I mean, he's not a tough guy, but quieter, but you would have never expected that. And because if you're doing that, I'm hoping you're doing the same thing in your personal life, right? That you're being a good person in your personal life. If we've made a small difference in their life, that means a lot to me.
And you just shared those couple of stories. What incredible success stories in themselves of it's what people are doing when they don't think anyone's watching.
And that's the important part. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we're not perfect, right? There's times I look on the camera and I mean, we should probably have a full-time person just watching camera because we got 20 cameras, but we hope that we have enough supervisors and we hope that we can trust, and other farms, I'm sure do the same. But yeah, it matters when no one's watching is what really matters the most.
And that's where all of the things that you've talked about, Danielle, that's where they all come to light. And you talked about identifying good people and seeing the potential in them, giving them the opportunity to prove it to themselves. You talked about also the training and the retraining and the protocols and the adherence. But I think if I would have asked you for a 4th step earlier, what it would be is also what you've been sharing too. And that's you intentionally take the time to show people their wins and to show them the difference that they've made here.
Yep.
And that it was on them.
We show them videos of the bad. We show them videos of the mistakes.
That too. But you know what? It's so easy for all of us to focus on those things. Yeah. But you choose to show them the good thing that they did. And that reinforces everything else, doesn't it?
And it's funny because, some of the guys, especially, to me, it's so, like, I don't know if you want to say, like, heartfelt when you see just the little things that people that are these tough, rough around the edges guys that are like, will give you that big smile or just that, like side smile that they know that, oh, okay, I did good, even though it was something small.
And those are the things that make a difference, aren't they?
I'm hoping.
Oh, Danielle. Well, this has been really, really just a pleasure to get to sit down with you and follow up on, in some ways, follow up on the conversation I just had with Elsie Gonzalez about the incredible people that she gets to work with every day, and to have the conversation with one of them. And as we wrap up our time together, because I know you listen to Uplevel, I like to ask people 5 short answer questions to get to know you a little bit more as we round out our time with you. So Danielle, this is the Uplevel 5. In 3 words, how do you want to show up each day?
I would say respectful, passionate, driven. I want to show them, and an example. I want to do good things and set examples. So be the example, respectful, and passionate.
Question number 2, what does success look like to you?
I think seeing the people who succeed, like for me as a mom, it's seeing my daughters succeed. It's seeing my daughters doing things they love and being happy. People being happy, but just seeing people work hard. But to me, true success is impacting somebody else's life and changing it for the better, even if it's a small thing.
And you're doing it. Okay. Who's a thought leader that you follow?
I would have to say Gordon. It will be very hard when he retires for me. I always tell him that he's the reason I am, him and my dad, because they always taught me this is the way we do it. There's one way to do things, and we do it now, and we get it accomplished. And it's been different to see now that he's starting to retire and wanting to step back. He's not quite so driven anymore and he rightfully so has earned retirement. He has worked so hard. Him and Kathy have worked so hard, but I would definitely say, Gordon, my dad, Andy Johnson, Doc Reed, Mark Walker. I have so many people that have had such a huge impact in my life. Elsie, Liz, that help me every day. I'm very fortunate to have several people that I can text or call. Gordon and Travis have spent a lot of hours with me, a lot of crying in the last 3 years. Just the overwhelm. I don't know if I can keep doing this. I don't know if I don't feel I'm succeeding. I've been very fortunate that I've had them backing me. Without them, I wouldn't still be doing what I'm doing. It's been a hard 3 years.
But they did for you what you do for everyone else.
And thank God, because I needed them to just keep telling, no, and believing in me. And then just the adjusting of Travis is younger than me. So I've always looked up to Gordon and Kathy, since I moved here. So just the adjustment of now looking at Travis as the new owner, and how he runs things differently and expects different things, and kind of trying to find that balance between Gordon and Travis and keeping them both happy, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And question number 4, what are the words you live by?
So I would say a saying for work for what my dad always said, no one can go back to yesterday and change, but anybody can start today and start a new beginning. Was kind of my dad's. Another picture on my wall in my living room. He always said, I can't go back and, change your childhood, but I can start today. And that's kind of what I tell everybody on the farm. I would say on the personal side of things, live the life you love and love the life you live is probably my slogan for my kids and my personal life. If you don't love what you're doing, and create the life that you truly love.
And last question for you, Danielle. What's your next up level? Personally, professionally?
So professionally, I would love to take 50,000 somatic cell and stay there. It's absolutely amazing the farms that are below that even. Our ultimate goal has always been 50,000, and to obviously stay there. But I would say professionally too is just keep building more leaders, right? More supervisors, leaders, and that can kind of start taking over some of the areas that I cover, and truly take them and run with them. And then on a personal level, trying to find the work balance of personal and work life is probably a goal that I'm getting a little better at, but I got to find a happy balance of work and personal life. There's not a lot of personal life, right?
But hey, love the life you live.
Yep.
How did it go?
Love the life you live the life you love.
Yeah. And you kind of love it around here, don't you?
I do. I love what I do. I absolutely adore the people, and I love the animals. I love cows. I always have.
All right, Danielle. Anything else?
Not that I know.
Well, thanks for sitting down with me today and
Thank
letting
you.
us come out to visit you here at Shiloh Dairy and get to have a more in-depth conversation with a manager that I know is well known and well respected by your peers for the work that you do. And it's not just the cows, it's the people.
Yep.
You just heard part 2 with Danielle Ware-Dreier from Shiloh Dairy in Brillion, Wisconsin. If you missed part 1, go back and check out episode number 268. Her words are a reminder that strong protocols build performance, but it's people who build legacy and leadership. Thanks for listening to the Uplevel Dairy Podcast. I'm your host, Peggy Coffeen. Don't forget to follow, rate, share, and review this episode. And as always, keep on growing, keep on learning, and up-leveling your dairy. This episode is sponsored by Uplevel Dairy Podcast founding partner Adisseo, a global leader in nutritional solutions and premier provider of rumen-protected methionine for dairy producers who want to optimize milk production, capture more value from components, and maintain the health of their high-performing herds.